Hi, I'm Satsu5. I'm here to talk about pepper spray as a weapon and a tabletop review on this stuff, this $5 personal Security Corporation Secure Pepper Spray. Costs $5 at Academy. Sports and outdoors, so it's very affordable. But anyways, you're probably wondering why I have Dave's Insanity hot sauce out here. Just a quick story. Just so you know that it's not my first time to come in contact with some hot stuff. This is Dave's Insanity hot sauce, and it is by far the hottest hot sauce I've ever eaten in my whole life. And just to show you, first of all, let me get the magnifying glass so you can read. It says the original hottest sauce in the universe. And then it proceeds to say, let me focus it in. Great for cooking ingredients, for sauces, soups, and stews. Also strips wax floors and removes driveway grease from driveway grease stains. Enjoy. Trying to read through this viewfinder. Anyways, it also proceeds to talk about the warning it has. We already know this strips wax floors and removes driveway grease, if that's not a warning enough for you. But they have a little warning disclaimer thing, and I'll try to focus it in for you again. Let's see. It's kind of hard for me to read at this angle. Use this product one drop at a time. Keep away from eyes, pets, and children. Not for people with heart and pulmonary and respiratory problems. Shake well and refrigerate after opening. So this is bad stuff. And just to let you know how bad it is, I don't use much of it. This is a fairly old container, and it's still, full for the most part. But back when I was in high school, I brought this and some habanero peppers, both on different weeks. But I brought the habanero peppers first, and I gave I administered what I called the Central IQ test. If you ate the habanero pepper, then you failed the IQ test. And I had all kinds of guys at my school who wanted to prove how tough they were, and they'll eat the habanero pepper, and they're pretty miserable. I had one kid get sick. So yeah, habanero is some bad stuff. And surprisingly, there was this. I'm not saying that women are weak or can't tolerate pain. It's just you mostly hear about guys trying to eat hot stuff. You never hear about women eating spicy food. At least I didn't. But there was this one girl in my class who ate it, and it didn't even faze her. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about the habanero pepper itself. Anyways, it didn't faze her, and that was pretty weird. Anyways, the next day, I brought this stuff up there with some tortilla flour chips. Not really the best thing to eat hot sauce with, but I wasn't trying to, make it taste good. I was just giving them a platform to eat the sauce with. And I gave it to several kids, and they started drooling uncontrollably. I forgot to tell you this. They drooled uncontrollably with the habanero pepper, not this stuff. I was getting my stories mixed up. Anyways, I gave them this, and they started gagging and crying, and the whole thing. They had problems kind of breathing, and some of them just took way too much on one chip. But anyways, they started going under the water fountain, and I told them, don't drink water, drink milk, and it'll cure it. Sure enough, after they drank milk, they were instantly better. But some kids, they left school and went home sick. It was a pretty bad day for a lot of those kids. And throughout the day, handling this stuff, opening it and closing it, I got some on my hand. And I guess I rubbed my eyes or something, or touched my face, and I got it in my eye. And it was extremely painful. I went to the cafeteria, got me a carton of milk, poured it on my face, and I was fine. So this is the reason why I had a bottle of milk outside. And I will tell you, with this pepper spray right here, milk did not help. I mean, it kind of did, but nowhere near enough. I mean, it's the equivalent of you sticking your hand in a fire and using an eyedropper to extinguish the flames. I mean, of course it's going to help a little bit, but not enough. Anyways, you saw in the video, they were squirting me down with milk. I had a paper towel soaked in milk rubbing my eyes. That didn't help. I started to panic. I went under the water hose faucet, stuck my head under it, and then the video cut off. And what you didn't see is that I stood up, and my friend and my brother led me into the bathroom because I could not see a thing at all. And I got under the shower. Well, I got in the shower, put it on as cold as it would get, had a bar of soap, and I was scrubbing my face. And after about 45 minutes of that, 45 minutes, I made that interview video. That was directly after I changed my clothes. After I got out of the shower and changed my clothes, I went outside and did that interview. And I'm telling you, it's bad. It's the worst pain I've ever felt in my whole life. It was worse than cutting my finger off. And I think I said that much in the interview video. Anyways, now that you've seen the video, I had trouble breathing. My eyes were in pain. My skin was in pain. My nose was starting to stop up. It was just horrible stuff. Y'all know that much. But let's talk about the pepper spray delivery system itself. I did say this was the secure 4-in-1 formula by Personal Security Corporation, and they brag about having, believe it or not, yes, they brag about having the quick detach keyring and the glow-in-the-dark trigger mechanism. I kind of have a problem with this quick detach, because if the keys are on your ignition, you either grab it like this, press it with your strong thumb, and you have to flip it over where you can squat whoever's bothering you if your keys are on the ignition. And the only alternative to that is that you flip it up while it's in position, and then use your other hand to disengage the key ring, and then squat your aggressor, which I think is also bad because you're using both hands to get to one item, and that leaves you open for attack. If you use both hands trying to get this off the key ring, he can grab you and either shoot you, punch you, stab you, pull you out of the vehicle, and it's not doing you any good if you have to use two hands to get it. So, and if it's upside down, fumbling with it to, get to the trigger, then he still has time to attack you. So I believe the best carry method for this one particular item is with this clip, integrated molded plastic pocket clip. And even though this pocket clip is a very well made, very stiff pocket clip, it's not loose, it's not really going to slide around. Obviously it's going to slide around on this paper, but see, it's strong enough to hold the paper up, and that's this paper thin, so that's a good clip, very strong, sturdy clip. But the actual mechanism, I would be afraid to carry that on my side of my pocket, because I'd be afraid that I might rub up against something and it'll press the trigger off to the fire side, and then it could accidentally discharge, which is no good. So I do believe this would be a more efficient carry system, but not the best. I believe the best way to carry this is in your hand when you're jogging around the neighborhood, or if in your hand when you're walking to your car at night. It's better to have this in your hand in situations where it's dark or you're in an unfamiliar area. That way you can quickly squat and run off. And I just don't believe, if this is connected to your keychain and your keys are on your ignition and you can't get to it quick enough, your keys are already in your ignition, just turn on the vehicle and drive away. Run over them, drive. That is, probably the best thing you can do in that situation. And if you can't, well, you just have to get this out as quickly as possible. But I will say this, pepper spray is an effective, less lethal weapon. But another downfall to the pepper spray is you have a limited amount of spray. Let's see how many ounces this is made out of, or this has in it. I don't see how many ounces it is, but it says it has 10 1-second shots, so you can fire it up to 10 shots just pressing it, like that. Which is really not 1 second. If you're just pressing it like that, that's not really a second. But 1 Mississippi, that's a second. And I can tell you, you don't have 10 shots with this. And plus your adrenaline's going to be going so fast, you're probably just going to empty the whole bottle on someone. Well, what happens when you empty the whole bottle on someone but you have more than one attacker? Well, then you have no weapon. So it's good to have an extra weapon with you, whether it be a pen, a magazine, which I'll show the magazine trick later in the video, or a knife or a gun, or a flashlight. Flashlight's a good self-defense weapon. But this only works once, and then you're out of ammo. It's like carrying around a gun with one bullet in it and using that for self-defense. It's not really the ideal condition, because if you have more than one attacker, you're in bad shape. Anyways, this has pretty much one shot. This is the Kimball Guardian Angel, and the clip with the logo on it broke off. Feel bad about that. But this has 2 shots, so you have 2 shots. But still, if you have 3 opponents, then you're in trouble. But let's look at the Kimball Guardian Angel. I already have a review on it. But just to let you know how hot it is, if you can read this, I don't know if you can, but it has an extremely hot 300,099 Scoville heat unit measurement, which is the measurement of capsaicin and how hot it is. And I think habanero is like 1,000, 100,000 to 3,000, but this is 100,000 to 300,000 Scoville unit. But this is, this is the big 399,000 Scoville unit, and it is. I would have to imagine it's pretty hot. I have not tested this out because this cost $20. This cost $5, and I figured the $5 one would be a lot less intense than this one. But as you saw, this was very, very, very intense. It is 10% pepper, and I'm not the pepper spray expert, although I ought to be now after going through it. But I don't know everything about the chemical compounds of pepper spray. But this is 10% pepper, and I believe, for the most part, in pepper spray, that civilians can buy, for the most part, they use cayenne peppers to extract the capsaicin out of. That's just something I heard. I don't know if that's fact or opinion. If you do know which peppers they used to make pepper spray, please send me a message. I'll annotate it in. But I believe it's cayenne pepper. But this has 10% pepper in it, and I said it was the 4-in-1 formula. And if you can read this or pick it up, I'm not accusing you of not being able to read. It's just I don't know if my camera can pick it up. But it's 10% pepper, and then it has CS tear gas in it, CN tear gas, and a dye marker, which is, to dye your enemy's face so the police can identify them. But this also has CS tear gas and CN tear gas. I don't know a whole lot about that, but that might be the reason why the milk didn't help. So it's some bad stuff. Has both pepper and tear gas in it. But other contender for pepper spray self-defense, which I think would be a very good buy. I actually want to pick some up sometime. I don't know if I want to test it out anytime soon, but it's Cold Steel's Inferno pepper spray, and it kind of comes out in kind of a foamy substance that once it hits your face, the heat of your body melts it into a liquid. And they have several different sizes, ranging from the concealable pen size to the barrel spray. And although this has 8% capsaicin 8% capsaicin in it, and it has 2% black pepper, which is the other ingredient. I want to tell you why I think this stuff is worse than this $5 stuff. Not because it costs more, not because it has the name Cold Steel or Inferno on it, but I just believe the ingredients they put in it are especially evil towards attackers and people who test this stuff out. Like I said, I believe this is made from cayenne pepper, capsaicin, and it has several different tear gases in it. This is made from habanero peppers. The habanero pepper is probably one of the hottest peppers you can buy in the supermarket today. There is a other pepper hotter than the habanero, but I can't remember the name of it. I might annotate the name in, but it is extremely hot. Habanero pepper is what this sauce is made out of. It's what it's the pepper that I brought to school that sent people home sick. It is some very intense stuff, and a Cold Steel used it in the pepper spray. And they also used, I mentioned, black pepper. I'll see if I can bring you in closer on this. There's 8% orison capsaicin, 2% black pepper. And Cold Steel, they have a series of videos out where they test this stuff out, and Lynn explains what's all in it and why he put it in there. But I'm going to talk about it a little bit. But what the black pepper does is it triggers the sneeze reflex. So as soon as you get that black pepper in your face, you go and you breathe it all in. You breathe all that habanero pepper stuff into your lungs. So not only is it hurting you in your eyes, it's not just hurting you in your nose, in your skin, but it's going into your lungs. And that's just an itch that you can't scratch. There's nothing you can really do to help that at all. So I believe this stuff is going to be very, very, very effective. And you can buy different sizes, which would be good if you have multiple attackers. If you can legally carry around this barrel spray. I know sometimes barrel spray it might be illegal to carry around in certain areas, and it might be a little bit cumbersome to carry, but you can squat several different opponents down with it. If you have 5 people attacking you, if you have the barrel spray, you can hose them all down. And I suspect that much with a 3.5 ounce Inferno. I personally want to get the pen size 0.25 ounce unit, and I want to get the 0.3 ounce Inferno because I believe you can carry it around easier. But like I said, I'm not looking forward to testing it out. But I believe that is going to be some of the most effective stuff on the market. And I believe I've seen 30% pepper in some law enforcement grade pepper spray. But again, some things to consider. Those I know there's a lot of people who have their concealed carry license and they carry a gun. Have no problem with that. I actually recommend it. But the thing to consider with pepper spray, if someone just scares you and you turn around and just squirt them real quickly, you didn't kill them. There's no real liability. And when you carry a firearm, you have to be 100% sure that, or you have to have, it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt that your life is in danger. And after you use that weapon, you will have to testify in court explaining why you did it. You know, you're going to have to explain yourself. And with pepper spray, you know, if someone just scares you and you squirt them, it's kind of no harm, no foul. I mean, they're going to be in pain, but there's no permanent damage. So that's something to consider. Same thing with the flashlight. Pretend this is a flashlight. You're walking down a dark alleyway or a parking lot, what have you. It's a low light situation, and someone scares you. Someone's kind of walking up to you in a menacing manner, and you feel threatened, but you're not 100% sure if they're just threatening your life or if they're just a scary person. You can sorry about that. You can flash it in their eyes, and it'll temporarily blind them, and it will be painful, but you're not killing them. You're not using deadly force. And if they continue to, if you can't escape and they continue approaching you, you can hit them with the flashlight and hopefully escape, or you can possibly kill them with the flashlight. But the thing about the flashlight and the pepper spray, it's less lethal. And there's a whole lot less liability involved, and it's just kind of easier. With a gun, you really have to know that your life is in danger, and you have to really be responsible. This, I think, you can be 18 in my state and legally carry it, and women who just get spooked easily, kids that get spooked very easily, you can use this and not feel like, and not feel bad. I told a story that on the paper or something, or on the internet, I can't remember, but there was this police officer in a jail building, a jailhouse, and the corrections officer just wanted to play a practical joke on him and hid in the shadows and jumped out at him and said boo. And the police officer turned around and shot him in the thigh. I believe the corrections officer survived, but it's just things like that. A famous story with Wild Bill Hickok, the famous gunslinger and the Prince of Pistoleros. He went to sorry, that's my phone. But anyways, he went to disarm some people because there was anti carry of firearms law back in the 1800s. It was pretty common. Normal everyday citizens weren't allowed to carry their guns on their holsters. It's nothing like the movies. But anyways, he went to disarm these people and tell them they need to check their weapons into, I guess, their armory or something. And by the way, everybody carried a gun. It's just, even though it was illegal, but you just weren't allowed to have it, showing on your holster. And you weren't allowed to conceal it either, but everybody did anyways. Well, getting back to my story, he went to disarm these people, and they started shooting at him, and he got in a gunfight and shot and killed these two people. And next thing he knows, he hears these footsteps running behind him. So instinct told him to turn around. He just turned around and shot, without even thinking. And he ended up shooting his best friend, which he obviously regretted, and he carried that pain with him his whole life. So you have to have a lot of discretion, or you have to be aware of yourself and your surroundings when you're using a firearm. And with this pepper spray, not so much. I told you I would show you the magazine trick. What you do is you grab yourself a magazine and you roll it up as tight as possible, and you can use this anywhere when you're going to when you're walking from the office or from the store and it's dark outside. You can roll up a magazine and walk to your vehicle, or if you're just walking around the neighborhood, you can walk around with a magazine like this, and people just thinking, oh, he just has a magazine. But this magazine, when rolled up like this, can not only block a knife attack right here, which I would rather avoid the knife attack, not block it, but it's also a very effective impact weapon. Now, I'm going to find something to hit so I don't scratch up the wood, but it hits extremely hard, and you could possibly break bones or knock someone out with that strike, and that's also a good self-defense weapon. Anyways, that's kind of my tabletop review on this pepper spray and some thoughts on less lethal weapons. And I hope you learned a lot from this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down at the bottom. And I'm Asatsu5, and I'm out with my longest video I've ever made. 26 minutes. So, anyways, sorry for rambling and skipping and jumping around. This is the longest video I've ever made. So, we'll see how that goes. I'm Asatsu5, and I'm out for sure now.